Hey guys, such a warmonger here, and you're watching 3 vs 3 Kingdom of Heaven. This is an attackers versus defenders scenario, and spawning in the north, we've got Dangerous Dishwasher of Democracy, also known as Naaneater. He's the blue player and playing as the Italians, and playing as the Teutons in Cyan, we've got Stone Man, and finally we've got Olivier Santal. In green, playing as the Franks, also known as Beefcake. Over on the defender side, we've got Kindregg in gray, playing as the Romans. Lord Matthias in orange, playing as the Byzantines, and myself, such a warmonger, playing as the Romans in red. Alright, so it looks like the attackers are, for the most part, deploying where they've spawned. This is this can be a good strategy because it allows them to defend themselves much quicker if they need to, and it allows them to attack much quicker as well. Especially if they want to do a rush, maybe on a gate, that will work well. The changes that were made in this version are, between at least this one and the last one, is that the morale damage from winning battles, it's much more intense. So instead of, having a better kill-death ratio of 10 compared to your enemies, so if you kill 10 more than your enemies kill, that's how it used to be, where you would do 1 morale damage. Now it's 3 to 1. So every time you kill 3 more units than your enemy is able to kill 3 more units, then you will inflict 1 morale damage and gain 1 morale for your team. In the future version, I did increase the defenders to require 4 kills instead of the attackers requiring 3, just to balance things out a little, because the defenders have an inherent defender's advantage when it comes to sieges. In real life, the safe amount would usually be a 3 to 1 advantage if you're even thinking about attacking a city. But here I'm giving a like a 4 out of 3 ratio, so the defenders need to kill 4 and the attackers need to kill 3. They need to do better in that way. Anyway, in this map, seeing as the defenders are, the attackers have spawned in the north side, the defenders should probably think about mainly defending this point. The attackers would be hard-pressed to threaten the Tower of David, which is this point. It'll be easier for them to attack this point, which is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And it'll also be more difficult for them to attack the Dome of the Rock, which is this point, or the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is this point. Hopefully, you guys know that only infantry, melee infantry, can capture all the points, and anything can capture only 3 points. So anything can capture the Dome of the Rock, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the Syrian Exchange, right here. Alright. We've got, I'm gonna call the green player Beefcake from now on. Hopefully you don't get confused. When I say Beefcake, I'm referring to Olivier Santal in green. Beefcake has created a merchant spy from his market. But I was able to recognize the danger, and I come to block the way. See how I'm purposely blocking I'm purposely blocking this this ram from entering, and I'm coming in with my cavalry to take this this siege ram down. On top of that, I want to kill this spy. So a spy can't be killed by melee units, he can only be killed by range units, because all range units have the attack ground capability. Stone Man, being a new player, is doing fairly well. He's got a pretty good camp going on, actually. I hear a trebuchet. We got trebuchets beginning to do work on the Gate of Damascus, or Damascus Gate. Dangerous Wishes of Democracy, or Naaneater. I will call him Naaneater from now on. Is looking to raid any stone miners or wood miners. Oh, woodcutters. Looks like he missed out on this stone miner, but he's looking to attack over here, it seems. I have my light cavalry scouting. So if you look at this, this is what I see. You can see that the light cavalry have 20 vision. That's why they're very useful. They're also the fastest unit in the game. Meanwhile, Dangerous Wishes of Democracy, or Naaneater, is coming to raid my stone miners over here. So it looks like he found what he was looking for. There is an engagement in the main entrance. That's not gonna do much. You really need siege to come in. Comes Naaneater raiding stone. I did try to keep a lot of spearmen here to defend, but Naaneater did lose his general, unfortunately for him. So his general was part of this pack. They are going to be able to kill all the stone miners and spearmen, but at the cost of a good amount of heavy cavalry, which in my opinion is in my favor as a defender, because that was a lot of heavy cavalry, and he only has 6 left, so that's a win for me. Stoneman wasn't able to push in, but now he's locked and he's surrounded. So that's not going to end well for Stoneman, especially with mostly peasants mixed in. You can see that trebuchets have 45 range. They can fire from really far away. And they're starting to work on the Gate of Damascus. You can see that these archers are trying to kill this this knight behind this wall, and they're not able to hit them. The reason is every projectile is affected by anything it makes contact with. So it's making contact with this tower or this wall before trying to reach this knight. And so effectively this knight is taking cover from the archer fire. And of course, like if there's archers over here outside the wall and they're trying to hit anything right behind here, then they won't be able to hit it as well. Oh, but only for units that are right beside the wall. This knight is only being attacked by this tower. So that's one of the quirks of this scenario. That makes it more realistic than other scenarios in Age of Empires. Spearmen do have 1 range, so they can fight through the walls. Which is an interesting thing because it really helps with protecting from siege towers. Wow. It looks like they're targeting my villagers. That or it's friendly fire, because like I said, projectiles affect anything they hit. That includes friendly units or even your own units. So if an arrow hits your own units or a friendly unit, they will also kill that unit, or at least damage it. Any infantry you see with a shield can block arrows. And depending on what kind of unit it is, they can block between 1 to 3 arrows. So it looks like Naaneater is trying to bring his trebuchet numbers up before revealing that he has a lot. He's not attacking quite yet. It is nighttime though, so let me demonstrate what nighttime looks like. So this is what I see. You can see at nighttime you cannot see your allies, and your vision is reduced significantly. So like these only have like 2 vision now. And so if we look at what Beefcake can see, this is all he can see. So he's secretly making this. Doesn't have a lot to threat him on this side because it's nighttime. And that's why using attack ground is a good strategy at nighttime, because you don't really reveal your position. Because when you direct attack something, you do reveal yourself a little. And then we can go back to capture age. Okay, looks like there's some raiding going on. Nighttime is a very good time to try to sally forth and then raid things like trebuchets. So you can see that Kindregg has effectively destroyed trebuchet. Very good move from Kindregg, the gray player. So you gotta be careful. You can't see your allies, so you have to tell your allies if you're in trouble or not, or if you need help. Kindregg is making another attack at night. He's doing very well, actually. He's distracting keeping the attackers on their toes, effectively. Kindregg's little cheap force has been caught, but like they are keeping the attackers scared. Anyway, the whole objective of this map is for the attackers to try to reduce defender morale from 100% to 0. So I'll show that in the game. So you can see that this started with time left 45 minutes, and now there's only 32 minutes left. And this is real life minutes, by the way. So... Oh, and also, Naaneater has revealed his trebuchets and is working on Fossman of the Magdalene. We're trying to repair it. That's why stone's important to the defenders, for repairs, specifically. So anyway, you need to lower defender morale down to 0, or the defenders need to lower attacker morale down to 0. But you can see that Beefcake has made a siege tower attack. This is also the only scenario where I believe siege towers are super effective. That's because the walls are very powerful. They don't fall easily to battering rams, mangonels, or trebuchets. It takes a while to take them down. So siege towers are very effective in that regard. And so infantry can capture points, so you can see that the attackers have captured this point with their own infantry. So now this tower is on the side of the attackers instead of the defenders. The only way to capture it back is for infantry to go within the flags. Capturing a point also lowers morale. So this has a 2 morale value. So it lowered defender morale by 2. And if you destroy it, it also lowers the morale permanently by that number. Desperately trying to keep this but it's been destroyed. Anyway, this is all happening at night. So there's a lot of chaos at night. Nighttime is good time to attack, actually. Especially these kinds of attacks. But I am coming in with my own cavalry to try to take these siege towers down. And then, like, stop the threat of these siege towers from more and more infantry pouring into the city. Because there are already 2 breaches. There's one at the former postern of the Magdalene location. You see the infantry also captured this point. But I did destroy the siege towers, so that ends the threat there. But now there's a postern of the Magdalene now has a breach right here. And we're still holding strong with this. It looks like Stone Man was able to come in somehow. I don't know if the gate was accidentally opened. That's probably the case because the gate is still alive. So, I didn't even notice that. It must have been nighttime and someone accidentally went out. And you can see that all archers have minimum range. So these archers are done for. They also only have 30 HP. So like these archers are getting eliminated. The attackers are still over here, but the defenders are trying to take it back. Meanwhile, my own cavalry are over here trying to eliminate these barracks and the threat of Green's proxy barracks tents. But the attackers have a beach. They have a foothold now inside the city. They've captured the gate, and now they can pour any amount of units inside. And only infantry can capture these points, these outer wall points, any defensive points. So we did capture these points back from the enemy, so that's good news. And we still control this bulge. But yeah, the attackers are inside the city now. I'm raiding some of their woodcutters as well. Beefcake is sending just regular swordsmen instead of spearmen to fight my cavalry. And these cavalry will not be affected by swordsmen. They are very good against regular basic swordsmen. But now you've got groups of infantry running around trying to capture points away from us and lower our morale. Now we're gonna do this from the in-game point of view. It is 7 a.m. Dawn comes at 5 a.m. So now everyone can see their allies once again. I'm running around trying to eliminate these barracks, but I don't think my... That's interesting. Beefcake is actually pinging me my location. So I see the threat. I see that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is vulnerable. I'm trying to put emergency units to defend this point because cavalry can capture this point if they come in. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening. The defender morale is down to 52%. And we are in trouble. I don't know what I'm doing with this group. But here I go. I'm trying to take out Beefcake's supply depot. Because if they lose their supply depot, that's 10% morale taken out. As well as 1,000 food. So Beefcake is already at 248 food. So he'll be at negative if he loses that supply depot. Which will hamper his reinforcements down significantly. Beefcake is trying to run and capture points with his infantry. Stone Man is chasing away my my cataphractos, which we're trying to do flanking. But it looks like Beefcake was able to capture the Syrian exchange, which the effect is that it lowers the defender food income by 1/3 or 33.33%. Because there's only 3 points where the defenders generate food from, and this is one of them. So now we have to capture it back. I'm over here trying to take a supply depot out. Trying to see if I can slow down the attacker income as well, because we did lose our income here. I'm trying to slow down the attacker income. I do secure the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The weakness of the Cataphractos, even though they can switch between ranged and melee, is that they're the slowest heavy cavalry in the game. They're very slow. They still have a foothold. The attackers still have a foothold on Damascus Gate. And I'm still working on the supply depot over here. We do take the Syrian exchange back. But only one more volley and this is going to go down. So you can see attackers instantly lost 10% morale over there. Defenders gained 10% morale. And Beefcake. Oh my god, that... Timeout. That is a bug I need to fix. I didn't realize that Beefcake is at like negative billions of food. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's like negative billion food. That's not good. He should have told me that that's happening. I'm not sure what Beefcake can do now at this point. So that's a bug I will need to fix, but anyway, the attackers are really trying to push in. Wait, is that negative or positive? That might be... I don't know what that is, actually. The green supply wagon had respawned. That's... Thankfully, they spawned, like, very close. You can spawn it right there. So now he's gaining food again. Oh my god, he went positive. He has infinite food. Oh, that's interesting. That's a major bug. But you can see Naaneater has captured the David's Gate. But he is right beside one of the major points. So there's a lot of range units that can cut these units down. Now we've got a little skirmish between Naaneater's ranged units and my Cataphractoi. Now these guys can block 3 ranged attacks, you can see that. And they can switch between melee and ranged mode. They are the powerful units of the Romans. And now the attackers are really trying to push into the Church of Holy Sepulchre. So you can see the battles are fairly even. The defenders are actually slightly losing, which means that we're losing more units than the enemy's losing. There's a fierce battle trying to push into the Church of Holy Sepulchre. And a nice skirmish here from Naaneater and his big group of ranged units. But the minimum range is going to affect them very badly. You can see it's going to affect attacker morale if they lose a lot of ranged units. No, but he's got his infantry coming to save him. Meanwhile, these guys are still pushing through, but these are ranged units, unsupported, so these swordsmen are basically only being killed by friendly arrows, I believe. There is a big group of Stone Man's cavalry running around, trying to distract things. He has his general in the mix as well, cutting off my reinforcements. These are very expensive reinforcements. It's actually a pretty good strategy is to cut off the reinforcements right here. Here I am skirmishing with Naaneater's archers outside, losing a lot of them. And now because of the loss of units, the attackers are actually starting to lose a lot of morale. You can see that over here, just from winning engagements. Now I switch to melee mode and try to fight back against these units, because these are infantry not really supported by spearmen, which is why I'm slaughtering them with my cataphracts. And the attacker morale is really going down now that they're losing a lot of men very quickly. And you can see that reflected over on the top right. When you lose a general, it does give the attackers, it does give the enemy team 5% morale. So like the defenders lose 5% morale, and then attackers gain 5% morale, because we lost 2 generals, so we lost 10% morale overall. And the attackers gained 10% morale. I'm running away with these cataphracts. They're clutch, actually. The attackers are once again trying to make a push towards here. Beefcake. Maybe it's not a bug. It might have just been a he's back at 500 plus food, so it might have just been a graphical error, to be honest. You can see that reflected here in the food, so it might have just been a graphical error. The attackers are at a relatively healthy morale once again. And I am trying to fight back over here in the center of the city. So Cyan lost 5% from that, from losing their general. Look at this Cataphractos, look how powerful he is. He is against spearmen, but he is... But there's just not enough spearmen. And he's supported by his other friendly units. This guy might actually go down. There it is. But look at this rush of infantry right here. And now watch the attacker morale go down really quickly, because these are all unsupported ranged units. So they're already a third left of morale. You can see that in the message. They're losing so many units. Their morale is going down really, really quickly. They're just losing too many at the same time. Oh, they're trying their best to gain morale back, but these are there's actually a lot of spearmen here. And orange is coming in, so now even more morale is being lost. And once we cut through the melee units here, most of these right in the front line are also ranged units as well. So the morale is going to keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. There you go. They're finally realizing they need to pull their range units back. They're just traffic jam. There are elite units mixed in here, though. You can see a Varangos, which is very strong. Although now blue is actually surrounding these few red units. And even though he's very strong, he is surrounded. And now he's gonna go down. But not before he takes a few men with him. The attackers gained some morale back. Could be from the Beefcake's group of... Actually, Beefcake, if he stopped, he could kill all these archers. Alright, so they're making another push. If we look at the food situation, the attackers are... It's only Naaneater that was able to conserve his food very well. Naaneater and Kindregg, basically. Everyone else is struggling with keeping up the food. It's crazy how losing this one gate has allowed the attackers to have a foothold this whole time. We weren't able to take it back because you need infantry to take it back. Maybe, like, they're even blocking these points of attack, which is very smart, because if I wanted to send a group over here to try to take it back with infantry, they would be intercepted. And now you've still got the trebuchets working on taking this down. You can use attack ground. Even if it's your own tower, you can use attack ground to destroy these buildings, which is very smart. Okay, well, the attackers... What happened here? Pastor of St. Ladre. Oh, yeah. They're mustering up for another large attack. Looks like they're killing more archers, which is maybe gonna give the attackers a few more morale. You can see that reflected here on the top right. But now it's gonna be nighttime soon. So now this is all Beefcake can see. You can see how claustrophobic nighttime can feel. It can feel very, very scary, actually. This is what Naaneater can see. This is what I can see. Anyway, I'm trying to attack, who is this? Beefcake is defending the Tancred's tower with men. I'm trying to attack with Varangos plus a few... Well, there's a good amount of Varangos, so... I'm hoping that my Varangos can make the difference in killing all of these units. But there's like a night battle going on here. This is what Stoneman can see. It's fighting in the night. But we are going to try to take Tancred's tower back. You can see this is going to go down by 10% if they lose it, which will bring them all the way down to 9%. There it is. Attackers down to 9% morale. If the attackers lose this, that's another, what, 3% morale. So Naaneater's really trying to fight. Somehow they're getting good trades because they went from 9 to 11%, so they've been winning some battles at least. It must be from here. Actually, they're losing some morale. We're killing more than we're losing. It must be because there's a lot of Varangos in the mix. These guys are elite, so they can definitely kill more than they lose. Oh, but we're losing some, so they're gaining some morale back. Yeah, they are gaining some morale back. They must be making some headway here towards the Church of Holy Sepulchre as well. Now, these guys are peasant levies. They have very low damage, but they can penetrate armor. Actually, they tear armor. They tear armor away. That's why they're useful. So they make these really scary Varangos not so scary, because this guy, until he goes self-heals, he's suddenly not very fearsome, is he? So it's very good to have these peasant levies mixed in when fighting groups of elite units. You got Kindregg defending the Tancred's tower. You've got some sergeants mixed in. He also takes armor away. You can see that. These sergeants do tear armor away, but losing all these units could bring the attackers' morale all the way down to 0. So you guys be careful. Now, obviously, the peasants don't matter as much against like regular units like swordsmen. But oh no, there's a flanking attack from Lord Matthias or Matthias. If all these units die, that's more morale loss for the attackers. This flanking attack could be the reason that the attackers break. And they're also losing units here. And that's it. So you can see that morale and keeping your units alive and utilizing them correctly is a big deal. Didn't even notice that I was raiding this area, trying to remove even more barracks. Wow. That was interesting. So like I said, I increased it from having a kill death ratio of 3 to 1. Now I changed it to, for the defenders at least, to need kill 4 more units than the defenders, and than the attackers. So the attackers still only need to kill 3 more units than the defenders to do 1% morale damage, but now I made it so that the defenders need to kill 4 more units than the attackers to inflict 1% morale damage. Hopefully that balances that out a little more. Alright, let's take a look. So it's not really the overall kill death ratio, because when you look at the overall kill death ratio, you can see that Naaneater's pretty even, Beefcake's pretty even, Stoneman, it's not that bad. I mean, you can even say that Kindregg his kill death ratio is much worse. But it's more about the moment of the battle. So if in that moment of the battle you slaughtered a whole bunch of men, then that could really affect the enemy morale and lower the enemy morale. That kind of thing. So it makes the battles more dynamic, is the way that works. Yeah. I think that was a very interesting battle. If we look at the food, I think the only thing I'm going to change probably is just make sure that there's no negative food. I'm not sure if that was a graphical bug or that was accurate. I should ask Beefcake himself. But yeah, it should just be 0. It shouldn't go negative. Let's see. That was an entertaining battle, to be honest. I do like, and I hope you guys like too, how like the morale goes up and down, is very fluid. Now the attackers have the option to lower enemy morale by just doing a better job at killing the enemy. Aside from like capturing points or destroying defenses, you know, like stone defenses. I do think it's fair that archers and cavalry cannot capture these defensive points. They can't even capture like a place like the Tower of David, like this point, and they can't capture the Al-Aqsa Mosque here, this point, because of all the defenses. But archers and cavalry are able to at least capture big fat ones, like the Dome of the Rock is exposed. There's no defensive structures here. They can capture the Syrian Exchange. There's no defensive structures here. And archers and cavalry can capture the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. There's no defensive structures here. And I've seen a game already where cavalry running inside the city and capturing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was the big difference maker. In fact, it's the previous YouTube video. You might want to watch that. I think it's called Into the Breach. But they did make the difference in winning by capturing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre with cavalry. But in general, it's only melee infantry that can capture every point and recapture it. Any military unit can defend a point, so even if you only had archers here, all the infantry have to kill all the archers first, or, you know, all the cavalry first. But yeah, I do like that winning battles, killing units, makes much more of a difference now in terms of winning the game. I also like that destroying a supply depot is one of the big, one of the only ways that the defenders can harass an enemy camp. It used to be where attackers would lose morale just from losing an elite 10 or a command 10. That's no longer the case because it was too easy to just defeat the attackers. Just imagine the attackers were winning handily and had all of their men over here, and then the defenders came in with a whole bunch of horse archers and like took out 50% morale, 10% morale, 15% morale, 10% morale, and then another, very quickly, and then suddenly, even though it feels like the attackers are like literally winning and they should win over here by capturing the city and just wreaking havoc, suddenly the attackers lose because like a few horse archers just took these tents out. So I changed it to where losing the supply depot is the one that gives 10% morale damage to the attackers. So if you lose a supply depot here as an attacker, your team loses 10% morale. You yourself lose 1,000 food, and until your supply wagon redeploys and you deploy it into a supply depot, you also lose 1 food every in-game tick. So that's how I balanced that out. And you saw that the supply depot made a difference with Beefcake. There was a time. It's more about cutting off reinforcements now when you raid the attackers with the horse archers. So it's more about slowing down the reinforcements that comes later within a few minutes than like flat out winning. Let's take a look at the stats again. You can see we've been raiding the we actually raided pretty well. We raided the attackers camp. That probably kept them on their toes. Yeah. So we lasted 35 minutes before defeating the attackers. I hope you guys had fun watching. I'll see you in the next video.